let's have a look at a bit of therapy, which some of you may know about, some of you may not. Deep brain stimulation is used now as a medical treatment for some people with clinical depression, for some people with epilepsy, mostly for people with Parkinson's disease in the latter stage Parkinson's disease, where either the disease progresses very quickly or the typical chemical treatments, the levodopa, dopamine, wear off. The brain can adapt against it in some people very quickly, and the effects wear off. So in latter stage Parkinson's, deep brain stimulation, which involves implanting electrodes deep into the brain, is relatively standard treatment. In the UK, there are, I think, 7 or 8 hospitals now where this process is actually carried out. We work closely with Tipu Aziz at the John Radcliffe in Oxford, and he performs this operation, about one patient, different patient every week. So you see what it involves. Essentially the surgeon drills a very, very thin hole right into the center of the brain, the thalamus or the subthalamic nucleus, and then the electrode spindle is pushed down into the brain. Typically there are about 4 or 6 electrodes on the end of this, and one of the surgeon's jobs is to try and figure out which of the electrodes is best as far as that particular patient is concerned. Typically as well, the patient may have just a one-sided Parkinson's, or they might have both sides that are affected. If it's both sides, then they would need stimulators on both sides of the brain. The right side of the brain, of course, deals with the left side of the body, and vice versa. What you're going to see now, though, is a brief video of somebody who has Parkinson's disease. So this is a genuine patient with Parkinson's disease who has received the stimulators. Now, some of you may, if you're into evolution and so on, some of you may have wondered why, as humans, we have all this space at the top of our chest. There's really not much. You can hear it echoing when you thump your chest. You'll probably hear that on the microphone as well. So there's quite a lot of space here. Well, what this is for, it is a wonderful part of the process of evolution. What this is for putting pieces of technology, and the power packs from the Parkinson's stimulators are positioned here at the top of the chest, and you'll see the assistant switch on the power packs inductively, and then you'll see how the person is with Parkinson's disease. So let's I'll talk you through rather than put the
back to show you in 2 minutes.
So what you're seeing here, the patient with both tremors and muscle locking. And a lot of people, before they have Parkinson's disease, are completely active and have cases of people that are exercising, running, and all sorts. But so you see that he has great difficulty even standing up, has difficulty going to the toilet, getting into bed, some of the basic things in life, requiring helpers and so on. And you see the feet locked in position there that he simply can't get. So you've got tremors and muscle locking. So at this point he has received the stimulators, but you can see the tremors perhaps a bit more prominent on the right side. So first of all, the stimulator for the left side, and you'll see what happens when they turn it on. Bless you. So part of it is now the right-hand side has improved significantly, and then they'll switch the other one on. Now this for some patients, they still need some dopamine, but this particular, in many cases, that's not the case at all. This particular one is just electronic stimulation. As you see, they're asking him just to open and close his hands. I mean, here, he thinks this is all a bit silly because there's nothing wrong with me now, effectively. So it's changing the brain by purely electronic stimulation. And for patients, this example here, this guy leads a normal life, drives his car around, etc., etc. And for quite a few people, they go back to a regular life. And you see the transition from the situation they were in. Now, it's great. A lot of people benefit from this, which is fantastic. One issue here is just looking at how the human brain, in terms of performance in certain aspects, is changed with purely electronic stimulation. The human brain, of course, is electrochemical. The medical world, we've focused in the Western world mainly on chemicals. Pharmaceutical companies are enormous. Even for us now, some of you may have had a cigarette or coffee or something before you came in here. Again, it's chemical stimulation of the brain. The possibilities of electronic stimulation of the brain to do perhaps some of the things we do. You know, maybe you won't have a cup of coffee in the future. You'll have a little electrical signal and it has the same effect, or maybe even more specific. But here, in this case, it helps an awful lot of people.